We're at this awesome booth from Fender, NAMM 2018. My name is Chris, and this is?
I'm Stan Cotey with Fender. I'm a product designer.
It's very nice having you on the show.
Thank you, nice to be here.
So, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Fender did some pedals earlier on, but that wasn't like the major, thing.
This time we wanted to start from scratch. So all of these started from a blank sheet of paper. These were all designed locally, all designed by us, of course. And a very small, very passionate team works on these products. We're all guitar players, so we're all zealots.
Is it safe to say that these are your babies?
Yeah, these are. I manage the team, but I can tell you the other two guys on the team care about them deeply and work really hard too. But this has been a really intense period of time and chunk of work for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you have for us?
Okay, so we have 6 at the show. What we have is a buffer, the level set buffer, and it does a few other things as well. It's a great fronted chain buffer, but it also has a split tuner output, so you can keep your tuner in your signal chain without affecting your tone.
Oh, wow.
It can stay on, so you can be tuning while you're playing, like in the middle of a solo, and go, my G string's flat, fix it. The fun thing about this pedal is there are some controls if you do guitar swaps. I switch guitars on gigs where I might go from like a low output vintage single coil to like a humbucker that's darker. So there's a control that lets you add a little sparkle to a pickup or take a little bit of this kind of harsh off the top, as well as there's a level control. So it makes guitar swaps really easy. Instead of having to go, well, for my Strat, I got to set my gain here on my amp and my drive here or my whatever. This way you can just do it. Yeah, just do it in one place. There's a mute foot switch, so that's the buffer. The compressor, do you want me to play it a little bit?
Yeah. Let's do it right away.
The range of tones, right? So there's just a mute foot switch. So the range of tones, so I'll show you the high frequency control. Just adds a little bit of sparkle. Or darkens it. It's plus and minus 12 dBs. And again, it's just the
in the middle is a notch.
Stuff. Yeah. And the middle, yeah. And then the level control is also plus and minus 12 dBs. So you can kind of compensate for guitar differences. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, and then the load switch puts a little bit of a capacitive load like the front end tube of an amp would do.
Oh.
And so if you're a funk player playing really clean, you'll probably turn it off and keep some of the transients at the front of the note. But if you like distortion, it just takes a little bit of that first transient off, which makes it a little bit warmer with distorted tones.
That's fizzy.
Yeah. So there are a couple of fun things about these pedals where like you can notice that the pots are illuminated, the knobs are illuminated, but we can turn that off if you want.
Okay.
And then
why would you ever want to turn it off?
Oh,
right?
because maybe if you're running on batteries, you want to preserve your battery life.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the battery compartment's really fun. We'll show when the camera comes back around again, but the front door flips down.
Oh, wow.
And it's magnetically held.
Oh, wow. That's a great touch.
Moving on to the...
We can swap, yeah?
We'll swap. Moving on to the compressor. The compressor is a guitar stomp style compressor, but it has a lot of precision under the hood with the way it does the calculations. So like the way it figures out how loud it is. And the fun thing about that is it's extremely fast. So if I dial in a sound with a lot of compression, I can barely play and then just slam it. And there's not a big pop or blam at the beginning of the note. So it just compresses. Meanwhile, it still does all the fun. All the fun squishy stuff.
Yeah.
There's a blend control, so you can blend in the dry signal if you want and keep some of your own dynamics. The recovery control adjusts how long it takes to come back after it's gain reduced. And you can see the LED change colors to show you. Sometimes compressors, when they're working well, it's hard to hear when it's on or what it's doing. So this will definitely show you for more subtle settings when it's actually doing something. So, and when it's extreme, I can pick quietly or hard, and it's about the same volume. So, as a singer, it's fun because it's great for making a consistent rhythm guitar performance where you don't have to think about every single note.
We know this, like clean guitars go all over the place, way too loud or light.
Yeah, and then again, at the extreme settings, it's great for amp-like, like distorted sustain, but just very cleanly. So, double stop ends and things work well. So it gives you the kind of dynamic feel of having a raging distorted amp, but totally clean.
Crazy.
The Santa Ana Overdrive is a FET-based overdrive. My pal Alex Aguilar designed this, and he's normally known in the bass world, but he's a great guitar player and has done a lot of high gain stuff in the past. So this uses field effect transistors or FETs, and it runs them on high voltage, and it's a regulated high voltage supply. So it's great because they behave dynamically even a little more like tubes. So this pedal can go from very clean try not to kill you with level, to where it's just a hint of distortion, to where you can start getting a little more hair, to like into good mid-gain crunch tones. And because of the FETs and the high voltage, this pedal cleans up really well. Or if I just turn my volume control down, so you can go from, kind of read rhythm playing just from your guitar, yeah. There's a boost. The boost can be either more drive or more output level, and there's a switch on the back for that. And because we thought this might be a good fronted chain pedal, and if you don't have a buffer, this can either be true bypass or buffered bypass. So this can be a buffer for the whole rest of your board. This guy's true bypass. The next one in the line is the Pugilist, which is a 2-channel.
Just a second. Yep. The boost is like a volume boost or a drive?
Both. So right now, it's set up as a drive boost, I think. Yeah, where I get more gain. But I can flip a switch and turn it into a volume boost.
Actually shows on which
one it's doing. And for the volume boost, there's a trim pot hidden inside. You can pop the 4 screws off and adjust the trim pot to set how much of the boost you want. Okay, so the Pugilist, this is 2 different distortion engines in one box, and you can freely blend between them. And so what I like about this is you can take a brighter, cleaner distortion and blend it with a thicker, heavier distortion. So I'll show you what that does. So just first off, the range of tone. So it gets kind of clean to pretty good rock, like good rock crunch tones. But if you keep it more on the cleaner side, then I can blend over to the heavier side, darken it up a little bit, add a little more gain. And you don't hear a lot of pick coming through that. But if I flip the blend knob back where I'm blending in more of the brighter side, you hear all the pick articulation. Also really dense chords. All the chord tones pop out because of that cleaner side. So it gives you a good range of tone from like very clean to pretty heavy. It's not intended to be a metal pedal, but it gets definitely good higher gain rock crunch tones. So
did you have like a goal, like a pedal or an amp sound, what you wanted to go for?
The thing I was trying for more than that was a range of expression on your volume control on the guitar. And I was also thinking about the fact that sometimes solid-state pedal distortions can be a little two-dimensional. And so I thought about, well, what if you blend 2 with different characters? Does it get a little more 3D and richer? And so that was kind of the thought process that led me down that road. And
very nice, interesting new way to think about it.
Yeah. And so I've seen other stuff in the world, and it's just fun to try to think outside of the box a little bit. Try to do something unique. So you can stack the 2 halves in series too. So you can stack them like you would stack 2 drives on a board. So which gives you a lot of gain at that point. The mirror image delay and the marine layer reverb are both DSP based, so they're digital. Whereas these guys are all true bypass. These guys have a mixed bypass scheme where the delay trails will hang in there when you bypass. Okay. So the dry signal is all analog, so there's no additional latency. Yeah, so it stays right. And so the delay has 3 different sets of sounds in it. It has a digital delay model. It has an analog delay where it models a bucket brigade. And then, of course, a tape delay where it models like, wow and flutter and that kind of stuff. There's a variation for each of those. So like with the analog delay, you can do a cleaner, brighter one or a more distorted, more bit reduced kind of thing. The tape, you can degrade the age of the tape. There's modulation for all the delay models. The variation of the digital is really cool. It's an automatic double tracking effect. So every time you play a note, it'll slightly do a different thing delay-wise or pitch-wise, which is fun. So you get
like a random
yeah,
thing?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
is
So
it
you get like a late 60s-ish, almost studio kind of experimentation thing. There's a fun thing in here where so here's a quarter note delay. It has a whole second delay engine built in at a dotted eighth. It can do all those kinds of rhythmic delays. There's modulation that can get extreme. And then the tape delay can have a lot of wow and flutter on it. So it can get really kind of... So I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, you can, let's see. Yeah, you can. So there's lots of cool modulation possibilities. And again, you know, you can notice the bypass, right? I'm dry now, but the delay keeps going. So I can be like raging on a solo and hanging on my last note, and then kick the delay off to go play rhythm, and it gets short and tight.
Cut off.
Yeah.
So that's probably a buffer bypass then, right?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Marine Layer Reverb is the same DSP platform. It's got 3 sets of sounds. There's a hall that's very rich and ambient, and great for like solo playing. There's a room that's a little drier and brighter, better for rhythm playing. And then there are 2 special modes. There's a modulated cavernous ambient thing that's really fun. I'll show you to be able to play chords in. So where it'll just hold the chord. And of course, you know, if I bypass the pedal, I'm dry now. It's still got the chord, right? And then of course, there's also a shimmer. And then it has normal reverbs as well.
Wow.
So that's the lineup.
Very, very nice.
Awesome,
Wow.
thank you.
Stan, thank you very much.
So nice to see you.
Have fun on NAMM show, and all the best for the pedals and everything.
Thomann, cool.
All right, cheers guys.